Hello everyone, it's Hidesh. We've been taking a look at the challenger deciding match of the 51st Ou-i sponsored by the Alliance of Newspaper Companies. Now, the challenger deciding process of Ou-i, it consists of two leagues. One is Red League and the other is White League, each of which consists of 6 players that are decided with the qualification. And playing black here is the winner of the Red League, 5th Dan Akihito Hirose, one of the best young professional players. He was born in 1987, taught by 9th Dan Osamu Katsura, became professional in 2007. He's a really good player. He often uses ranging rook Anaguma strategy. And in the last game of the Red League, he beat the duo Akira Watanabe. Now, on the other hand, playing white is the winner of the White League. And you know this name, of course, Meijin Habu, the Meijin, Kisei, and Oza. I don't think I need to introduce him. This is the first game that these players play against each other. And, in White League, the winner was decided with a playoff, actually. Habu played against another great young professional player, one of the best young professional player, 6th Dan Makoto Tobe. And although Habu could won that, he has to face another great young professional player. And I'm not going to give any hint as to who won this game, but if Yoshihara Habu wins this game, he's going to play a title match, Ou-i title match against Ou-i Fukaura. So that means they will play a double title match along with Kisei, the game one of which they have just played. And on the other hand, if Hirose wins this game, we're going to see a new young professional player playing an Ou-i title match, and that's a big news too. So whichever player wins this game, it's going to be a big news. So let's take a look at the game now. Right now, black Hirose played pawn 8, pawn 7f. Habu played pawn to 3d. And black played pawn 6f, closing the bishop's diagonal. So he's kind of signaling a classic type ranger rook. So white plays pawn to 8d and rook to 8h, normal 4th file rook, silver 6b, king to 4h castling, pawn 5d, king goes ahead castling, king to 4b, he castles too. Now silver to 7h, king 3b, and king to 2h, and gold to 5c. Oh, sorry, silver to 5c. Now silver to 5c means that white is basically going for a slower game, or rather than bringing this silver to this way, which means a rapid attack. Now, as I've said, Hirose's forte strategy is ranging rook Anaguma, so we're expecting he's going to use it. So is he going to move up the lance here? Yes, he did. So he's going for Anaguma. Now, let's see what Habu chooses for his castle. Well, it's bishop to 3c. So he's kind of going into Anaguma too. Silver 6g, trying to harass white's castling because this silver can attack this pawn later. So white has to be careful. White pushes pawn up to 8e now. Bishop 7g and then king to 2b. Okay, black goes into the hole. Gold 5b. White doesn't show his intention to move off the lance yet. Okay, silver to 2h, closing the hedge. Now gold to 4b sideways. Still doesn't move off the lance. Gold 3i. Okay, finally Habu did that. Lance to 1b. So it is now double Anaguma game. Okay, and now after looking that lance, now black moves the silver up to 5f, showing the possibility of attacking the pawn now. So white has to reply to that with silver to 40. Now the bishop's diagonal is closed. So the question is now, can black now push this pawn up to 6e, opening the bishop's diagonal? Well, but then white can push back this pawn, which means the black has to move this silver back, which blocks its own rook, and it's not a good thing. He's losing turns. So black can't push the pawn. So black does pawn to 4f, making the way for the silver to go ahead. So now in the next move, maybe black can push up this pawn on the 6e. Okay. So instead of going into that hole, Habu actually moved his gold, and it was gold to 3b upward. Okay. Pretty hard looking castle, but the problem is that the bishop can't go back to 4b because of this gold on 4b. Now black didn't open up the bishop's diagonal because black doesn't want to go into the full-scale battle. White castle looks pretty tough, so yeah, he's gonna move. He wants to move the left gold now. Gold to 5h, sorry. Now king to 1a. Now he went into the castle. Okay, so pawn to 3f. Okay, trying to harass the bishop's head. Okay, silver 2b. Silver back to 4g. Okay, interesting move. Okay, pawn to 7d. But then the idea of black is here. Black pushes a pawn up to 4e attack in the silver. Okay, well, what if he takes it? Okay, knight to 3g, killing that silver. Silver doesn't have anywhere to go to. But it doesn't mean it's clearly good for black because he has undermined his own castle. But anyway, Habu didn't do that. He moved the silver back to 5c. Well, he lost 2 moves here, but his intention is later on he wants to aim for this pawn, ripping off that pawn. So after taking that vanguard position, black has to protect that with the silver, of course, as Joseki goes. After creating a vanguard pawn, you have to support it. Okay, now rook to 7b, aiming for the bishop's head. Okay, black immediately goes for the bishop's head too, pawn to 3. White has to take it, but then black didn't take it. Well, after making that pawn step, black made a gold move, moving up to 4g. Great. Now, its meaning is, the rook can now go to here, attacking on the third file. Very interesting. So, white's gonna attack too. Pawn to 8e. Sorry, 7e. Pawn takes, and look at this. Since black has sacrificed a pawn on the 3e, which went to here, that means he can drop it to here. So that's kind of the interesting point of shogi. If you make a pawn sack, you get another pawn drop here. Okay. Now the problem is if black moves the bishop back to here, the rook can come here, which will threaten a pawn sack, followed by a pawn drop, followed by a pawn promotion. I see what I mean. So black basically didn't want to draw his bishop back to 8g, so he played bishop to 9e, trying to penetrate along this file. So, okay, now here's Habu's interesting move. Gold to 4a. In a way, breaking his own castle, making a floating piece. But it's, of course, naturally protecting this square. The bishop is protecting this square. And now the bishop can move mobily along this diagonal now. So, well, black anyway drops pawn to 3d, of course, attacking the bishop. Well, this pawn drop is, of course, possible because this time white has made a pawn sack on 7e. So he can do that. Okay, bishop goes back to 4b. Now, here's Hirose's interesting move. Again, well, if I were him, he just simply moved the rook over 3h. But what he did was rook to 5h. This is interesting. That pawn on the 5th file hasn't been pushed at all. What is he doing? Well, he's going to basically now aiming for this file. So he's going to actually utilize this silver to this way, not on this way. Well, one of the reasons is in that file, this pawn has already made a very good position. So he's going to earn some point in other file. Okay, white goes ahead, rook takes 7e. Okay, black, pushes the pawn up to 5f. He goes ahead. Okay, gold to 3a, sideways. Great move. Well, this is a great move, And black goes ahead, pawn to 5e. Okay, pawn takes, silver takes. But here, white makes a very good pawn sack. Oh, the problem is that black can't take with a knight. Well, if he could take it with the knight can later on attack, maybe attack the fifth file. But if he does that, pawn push to 90, and it's a disaster for black. Black has to save his bishop, which means he loses the defender to this knight. So black can't take it with the knight, so he takes it with the bishop. So here, this is where Habu made a great decision and going to full-scale battle. Pawn drop on 5d. Well, of course, black has to take it. I mean, he'll take it. Now, what's his intention? Yeah, he's gonna sack his rook. Knight takes and attacks the rook. So now the meaning of that pawn sack is he wanted to make this silver attacking each other. That means this rook cannot run at all. If he runs this way, he loses the silver, of course. He runs this way. Well, he has to protect the gold, you know. Well, I'm not sure. Maybe he can take the gold and take the silver, or take the silver for free. Well, that might be it. So, yeah. So once this position is attained, it's one way to go. Black has to take the silver. White takes the rook. Black goes ahead taking the bishop. And does white goes ahead taking the gold? No, that's too much. So white recaptured with the gold upward. Oh, sorry. Yeah, upward. But it kind of looks a little bit now better for black, actually, because he has a very great solid move of silver drop on 3h, which reinforces the castle very much. And this dangling pawn 3d is doing a good job. Now white drops a bit rook to 6g, of course, forking the gold and the knight. But here black drops a bishop to hc, protecting the gold from a distance. Now he can become a horse if he goes back. Now the problem is black. It seems white can't block the bishop, but it's not exactly true. You have to think about this kind of pawn drop, which Habu did. Pawn sack on 70, which blocks the bishop, and it's for free. So black takes it, but then white can now take the knight, simultaneously attacking the horse, which means white can earn one move for a pawn. But horse calmly goes back to 5f, protecting the gold. And here white made a pretty good decision. He gave up his horse for the gold. Well, that's kind of a good decision, actually. If black takes with the horse, maybe white can now drop a knight, trying to break the castle. And look at black's piece stand. He only has major pieces, so it's hard to defend against that kind of attack. On the other hand, white has two metal pieces, which is very good pieces to attack. And moreover, white can anytime take out this horse, which has a very good defense on this castle. So because of that, black actually took it with the silver. Well, this is not so comfortable too, because of course this gold drop will come over, forking the horse and the silver. But well, this was the critical point. Actually, from this position, Hirose's moves, his attacks were excellent. He actually gives away that silver, leaving behind, and he moved the horse up to 5e, aiming for the king. Great idea. Now there's nothing white can do but take the silver now. So white is now up material, but what is more, Hirose goes ahead. Horse takes 2b, sacking his horse. Now he continues to lose material, but what he's doing is he's gonna just go ahead, clinging on to the opponent's castle. Okay, so now basically gold has to take it, so of course silver to 3a, which we call a chop drop. And black's Anaguma is still safe. White can't even make a threat mate against black's king. But here Habu replies with his strongest move. Bishop drop on 5e, giving up this gold. And also, well, this bishop is great. It's protecting this square. It's aiming at the king. Okay, now black doesn't take the gold, of course. It's too slow. So here's a good move. Rook drop on 5a. Okay. Now, it's not a threat mate yet because the bishop is protecting the 2b square. But, it's attacking the bishop. So, it seems Habu is in trouble, but he doesn't care. Knight drop on 3f. Okay, this is a threat mate. Can you see that it's kind of easy. You just go ahead, clearing off the pieces, and you can see it's a checkmate. So it's a threat mate. But here, okay, here's Hirose's decision. He took the bishop now. Well, but the rook goes away from the enemy's camp, so it's far from attacking now. So I can now take the silver. Gold recaptures, and silver drop to 3i. Clearly a threat mate. So what about that rook to 5e promote? Was that a good idea? Well, Hirose says yes, it was, because he actually saw a checkmate from this position. That's why he actually dropped the rook and took the bishop. It's silver takes gold, king takes, and this great pawn sacrifice on 3c. Well, the problem is that white can't take with a knight, of course, because there's a knight drop. That's checkmate. And even if it takes with the gold, before making that dragon check, knight check, gold has to take it. Now it loses the defense on 3b square. Now dragon check, followed by a bishop sack. So he has to take it with the king. But after that, bishop drop on 1a. Well, actually, I don't know. Maybe, if silver blocks, what's the following? Pawn drop? I don't know. Or maybe sacking it and knight drop. Anyway, it's a checkmate. So, white moved the king over to 2d, but dragon to 5d. And he only has silver, so he has to drop a silver. Well, it's not a good blocking piece. It's going to be taken later on. Anyway, maybe knight drop. So it's a checkmate. So after this dragon check, white Habu resigned. Alright, the young professional player Hirose beat Habu and became the challenger to Ou-i Fukaura. So congratulations for doing that. He's going to be on the stage of the upcoming title match after beating Habu. It's a great news. Alright, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you next time.